on to the next. President Trump and Kim Jong-un, they signed an agreement recently. It had a lot of wording, but it had 4 talking points and bullet points, and I want to read those verbatim, word for word. This is exactly what Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump signed yesterday that a lot of the media won't talk about, doesn't want to talk about, or will try to undermine or delegitimize, because that's what they do. So, President Trump and Chairman Kim Jong-un state the following. The first bullet point is, the United States and the DPRK commit to establish new U.S.-DPRK relations in accordance with the desire of the peoples of the 2 countries for peace and prosperity. The second bullet point is, the United States and DPRK will join their efforts to build a long-lasting and stable peace regime of the Korean Peninsula. Third, reaffirming the April 27, 2018 Panmunjom Declaration, the DPRK commits to working toward complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Wow, that's great. Fourth, the United States and DPRK commit to recovering prisoners of war / MTA remains, including the immediate repatriation of these already identified. So this is the exact wording of the document that President Trump and Kim Jong-un signed. The first one is kind of broad. It just says that the U.S. and the DPRK commit to establish new relations that will be in accordance with the desire of the people of the 2 countries for peace and prosperity. The second one is U.S. and DPRK will join to build a lasting and stable peace regime of Korean Peninsula. The third is DPRK commits to working towards complete denuclearization. And the fourth one is old-fashioned. I'm sure President Trump had something to do with it. He's getting the remains of prisoners of war and all the people who've died in North Korea, and he's getting their remains and bringing them back to the United States. That's an old-fashioned thing that a lot of people, would do back in the day and still do, just people with integrity, get somebody's body. You don't want them sitting in North Korea, bring them back to the United States. It's a beautiful thing. So overall, I do want to say I will agree with the critics and, mostly liberals and progressives are criticizing, but also people like Ben Shapiro, who, if you notice, every time President Trump does something good or it's like a vital moment to support President Trump, you got Ben Shapiro like, oh, but you're not the best, I'm better than you. Oh, anyway, there's people like that who are criticizing, and I will agree with them on the point of, these are just words right now, and that's what we're about, is actions. And we saw with the Paris Peace Treaty, or the climate treaty, or whatever they had, it was like years in the making, and literally after years of climate talks and Leonardo DiCaprio going there and Obama and everybody talking about how they're going to change the climate, if you actually looked at the documentation, the climate wasn't even remotely going to be changed by all of their actions. So the whole reason, President Trump canceled the Paris Climate Accord is because it didn't actually even change the climate. Hey, I'm just going to throw this out there. I know this is probably going to, make a lot of fake environmentalists mad and fake progressives, but I don't really care. You could change, if there truly is a CO2 problem, and there truly is that problem where that type of science and that type of chemistry is changing the climate of the Earth, I would say, try to check volcanoes that you can't control. 95% of the ocean is unexplored, and there's so many factors to the Earth that, 1, we can't control even if we wanted to, and 2, that we have no idea about. We haven't even explored literally half of Earth. 95% of the oceans are unexplored, and 67 to 72% of the world is made of the ocean. So you guys can do the math, environmentalists. But I would say, if we really do have a problem where there's CO2 that is changing our climate, plant more trees. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being mean. The Paris Climate Accord, 5 years of just talking, is not going to change the climate, especially when on documentation nothing about it is going to change the climate. Planting trees would change the climate, like literally. And if you think it's not possible to do it on such a mainstream scale, check out what India did. They broke the world record for planting, I believe it was between like 20 million and 60-something million trees. I don't know how many, tens of millions of trees in 24 hours. So that's literally how you change the climate. And there was also a new research that came out last week that said, oh, what do you know? Changing the climate is not not as expensive as we thought it was. It's all science, okay? So literally you could plant trees, or they have this new machine that is going to suck out CO2 and put, oxygen back into it's really not that hard. And I'm not saying that like, oh, What do you mean anomaly? I wanted to protest for 50 more years and do absolutely nothing. Yeah, well, that's why people are inventing stuff. It's not that hard to put more oxygen in the air. You could plant a tree, you can invent something. People are doing it as we speak. I'm not hating on science and climate change, but it's like, what is the argument going to have to do with it? On that note, the reason for that little tangent was because these are just words. So I'm not a big fan of treaties that are just a bunch of words. So we will see if they denuclearize. That will be the big thing. It says they have to here. If we'll truly create peace relations and also, get the remains of the soldiers back. I'm sure he's going to do that. So that I will agree with the critics. I'll say, let's see where this goes. These are the words right now. This really doesn't mean anything at first, but I do think this is much more significant than the Paris Climate Treaty, because that was like 4 years in the making, and there was literally nothing on paper that would even scientifically change the climate, even at max capacity. It literally was like a 40-year plan to, not barely change the climate, if even possible, when you could literally do that by doing other things very quickly. Anyway, but I am all for cleaning the air, cleaning the water, and saving the environment. I'm all for it. But this is much more significant because it has actual detailed things. It says complete denuclearization, retrieving prisoners of war and retrieving their remains, establishing peace. This is something that's attainable. This is something that's not going to take 5 years. And this is something that President Trump, people don't realize it, but he's already threatened North Korea multiple times. My whole life, it's been North Korea threatening us. Oh, they're going to burn us in a sea of fire. They're going to burn us in a sea of fire. And President Obama actually said one time, he was like, nah, we're going to destroy them or something. Like, he literally threatened them just like Trump did, but nobody really talked about it because his Twitter wasn't as poppin', let's be honest. I mean, he does get more favorites and shares and stuff, but nobody reported on his Twitter or his words. Anyway, it's nothing new, but President Trump really, used our military force. He used might, so I don't think he's the type of president who's going to just let, what's his name, Kim Jong-un, just continually build nuclear weapons and not do anything. He's not that type of president. This is totally significant. Anybody trying to undermine it, I think they're just doing mental gymnastics to try to figure out how it might not work. Like I said, there is a possibility. It's just words, but I guarantee you the actions are going to keep rolling. He's going to denuclearize. North Korea is going to be just like South Korea soon. And Kim Jong-un, I do want to say, like I said in my last live stream, he's been begging the United States to talk for years. Yes, he might run a murderous regime, but here's what CNN and stuff's not telling you either, is that if you're born into it, like North Koreans, we can't bomb North Korea because they didn't ask to be born there. I didn't ask to be born here. Just like you shouldn't be racist to somebody or anti-religious to somebody because they didn't ask to be their skin color. They probably didn't ask to be their religion. We were born this way. If you're white or you're black or you're Latino, you didn't ask to be that way, so why would you hate someone else for the way they were born? It's the same thing with Kim Jong-un. If you're truly compassionate, compassion goes all ways. Kim Jong-un didn't ask to be Kim Jong-il's son. He was born that way. So Kim Jong-il dies. Here's like a little 20-year-old or however old he is, who's now the leader of a murderous regime. He didn't act with a goofy haircut. That's kind of tight though. Low-key, I have to say it's a really dope haircut. I don't want to make fun of it. I think it's stylish. But he didn't ask to be the son of Kim Jong-il. So if you really want to be the loving and compassionate side of the political spectrum, then show a little compassion to Kim Jong-un. He didn't ask to take over that regime, and he's been begging for like 10 years now to talk to someone. He's like, dude, Obama, talk to me. Trump, talk to me. Rodman, talk to me. He's like a little kid in a candy store. Help me. I didn't ask for all this. I didn't ask for a murderous regime. I want McDonald's and the Chicago Bulls and NBA, and I want Anomaly to play, a 5-on-5 game with Dennis Rodman and Louis Farrakhan and Jesus. Like, these are the things that he's been begging for, and nobody's been listening to him. So it's like finally Trump talks to him. That's why I'm about to cry. That's why Dennis Rodman cried live on air, because he's like, I told you, this is how it's going to happen. So I do think this is a very significant signing, because Kim Jong-un may be a murderous dictator, maybe running a murderous country, but he didn't ask for that. And he's been asking specifically for years, help me. I want McDonald's. I want Burger King. I want basketball. I want cell phones and better light technology. Like, he's like, come on, make me like America. Everyone loves America. You go to Korea and Japan, everybody's wearing like Supreme and Adidas. It looks like they just came out the Adidas store on the boulevard. Like, they love America, okay? So, same with North Korea. So it's very, very significant. I see this going greatly. I think Kim Jong-un just doesn't want to be bombed or killed. And to be honest, the United States doesn't have a good track record of that. Every time they denuclearize or say they're going to do something, they usually kill the leader and establish a puppet president there. So Kim Jong-un's like, bro, give me McDonald's, give me Dennis Rodman, give me Michael Jordan, give me Anomaly, just don't kill me. Give me a few burger joints and I'll chill. I promise, just show me how to lead. I don't know, I got this stuff. It's like a kid who got his dad's company, except his dad's company is North Korea. I mean, come on, he didn't ask for that. So overall, that's exactly what it said. I think it's great. I'm just blown away by all the negativity. I knew it was going to happen because it's literally like they can make anything negative. But on such a historic day, to see such a failed ideology of like, they're going to bomb us. Oh no, don't talk to them. Oh no, like it's like there's nothing you could do. What's the point? It's like, like at what point do you just sit back and be like, okay, there's more jobs available than there are unemployed people. Like, that's historic. More jobs available than unemployed people. That ruins the whole narrative of, oh, these people just need jobs, or my community's bad because there's no jobs. There's more jobs than people unemployed. There's peace on the Korean Peninsula. There's historic meetings going on. Like, just have a good day. I get it. Like, this, you know, taxes are high, health insurance is high. I don't have that much money. Like, it's okay though. You know, just have a good day today. And then tomorrow we can go back to being miserable Trump haters. But overall, thank you guys so much for listening. God bless you. God bless America. God bless your family. And God bless the world. I'm going to put my links below. Look below the title. I have my Instagram if you'd like to follow me. It's Dream Rare, DREAMRARE. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's Legendary Energy. Thank you guys for helping me on Twitter. My Twitter is popping now. I'm getting thousands of retweets every day. Not that it really matters, but it's good to diversify the social media, because then they say, oh, Anomaly only does Facebook, but it's like we got the YouTube popping, we got the Twitter popping, we got the Instagram popping. Like Trump says, DC's popping. He literally tweeted that. That's a 73-year-old president tweeting DC's popping after the Capitals won the Stanley Cup. You know, we got all that. I also have my link below if you'd like to support my donor box. I'll probably put my Patreon there too. Donor box is like Patreon, one time or monthly. You're the reason I've been able to expand. Thank you guys so much. I've been able to focus on myself rather than working like 17 jobs for like the first time in a while. And that's a beautiful thing. So I've been able to really expand. We're going to keep cranking things out the park, keep winning. Thank you guys for supporting on DonorBox. And if you don't want to do that, it's all good. Sign up for my free email list. I'm going to put that in the comment section as well. It's 100% free. Every day, tens of people are signing up, building the email list. Keep in touch. You already know what it is. Have a good day. I'll be back later.